if each term in the sum of the sequence here, a sub 1 plus a sub 2, all the way up to a sub n is either 7 or 77, and the sum equals 350, which of the following could be equal to n? So what is n? N is just the number of terms that are in our sequence, right? Because each of these subscripts here represents where the is a placeholder for where you are in the sequence. And so if the final term is a sub n, that means we have n terms in the sequence. And so I think one thing they're trying to do here is they are purposely not giving you a lot of information, because then they think they can try and get you to make assumptions that aren't there. And so don't do that. Don't make any assumptions about the number of 7s that you have to have, or the number of 77s that you have to have in your sequence. You can have all 77s, you can have all 7s. They really don't tell you anything. And so if you are trying to translate this information into an equation, to an algebraic equation of some sort, only put in what you know for sure. And so the first thing I know for sure is something's got to equal 350. And so from there, start general and break things down. So what is equal to 350? Well, it is all of my 7s plus all of my 77s. And so to start, I can just say, okay, so the sum of my 7s plus the sum of all my 77s is equal to 350. Now I can further break this down by saying, okay, so the sum of my 7s is just going to be 7 times the number of 7s that I have in my sequence, plus 77 times the number of 77s in the sequence. And now that I have an accurate equation here, I can just say, okay, this is just 7x plus 77y, where x is the number of 7s I have and y is the number of 77s that I have. Remember, what I'm looking for, though, is n, and I don't have an n in my equation here. But don't worry, because what we do have is we have something that represents n, right? Because n is just the number of terms in my sequence, which means n should be equal to just x plus y. And so I can sort of translate what the question's asking for into just what is x plus y, or which of the following could be equal to x plus y, I should say. And so are we going to be able to solve for this? It does not seem like we are going to be able to, because it says could be equal to n, which sort of implies there's going to be multiple values. And so we got to see how far we can go, and then we got to think about it for a bit. So one thing I can do here is I can factor out a 7, and I get 7 times x plus 11y is equal to 350. And then I can divide each side by 7, which just leaves me with x plus 11y is equal to 350 divided by 7, which is just 50. And I think this is about as far as I can go. And so here, you'll either get stuck or you'll have an epiphany of some sort. And so we got to think about this now. What do we know about this x and y here? Because x and y, they cannot be anything, right? Because this is a real world situation. X and y represent the number of 7s and the number of 77s that I have. And so I cannot have partial 7s or partial 77s, so they can't be decimals. They can't be negative either, right? These have to be whole numbers. And so that's actually a big constraint. And so based on that, which of these two terms in this equation here, my x or my 11y, is going to be more limiting? Well, the 11y should be much more limiting, because once y is equal to 5, then you're already at 55, which is over 50. And so that means you only have a few terms that y can be. And so what I mean by that is, so y can be 0, and in that case, and then let's just start with y actually. So y can be 0, y can be 1, y can be 2, y can be 3, y can be 4. And then like we said before, once you get to 5, you're over, because this term here, 11y, is equal to 55. And so these are the only possible values for y we can have, which means we're only going to have the same number of values, possible values for x. And so we can find all of our values for x plus y, and then we just got to choose the one that is in our answer choices. So when y is 0, x is what? 50. And remember, ultimately, what we care about is x plus y. So we can technically stop when we get to the one that's in our answer choices. I say let's just find these all, because they could have asked for any of these values. When y is equal to 1, so we got 11 here, so x should be 39, then x plus y is 40, and then so when y is 2, we got 22 here, so x should be 28, and it looks like we got a pattern here where we're going down by 10 each time. When y is 3, x should be 17, we got 20, and when y is 4, 11 times 4 is 44, so x is 6. And so which one of these is in our answer choices? Looks like C.